Well, welcome in everyone to the Life Coaching for Men podcast, episode number 71. It is so good to have you here today. Great to be back with you. Hopefully, you've checked out the course. I know several of you have, so I really appreciate that. And want to encourage you to continue to do that. If you haven't checked out my new relationship course, Relationship Reset in 90 Days, go to drdarrenwilson.com. It'll take you right to the page website, and you can log in right there, and you can get going. And in 90 days, you can change your relationship. So, really excited to see how people grow through that and how that continues to impact people's lives. So again, just want to say thank you for those who have already signed up, and looking forward to seeing more of you in the course room. So hope everybody's had a great week. I mean, it's been beautiful here in Atlanta. I love 72 or 73 degrees and a little sunshine. So that's what we've been dealing with, and I've really enjoyed that. And I know that as we think about, I mean, it's October, almost 15th now, and right around the corner, you're going into the holiday season. You got a lot of stress coming up. You've got a lot of, sometimes it's interacting with different family members, and that can cause a level of anxiety, a level of drama, that kind of thing. And so today, I thought I'd give you just some practical ways, what I think are also powerful ways to overcome a bad mood. And so, if you find yourself waking up in the morning and you're just not in a very good mood, or you find as you go throughout the day, somebody hits a trigger point and kind of puts you in a bad mood, if you will. Although, I would challenge that to say that they can't actually put you in a bad mood unless you allow them, and unless you, uh, you know, are not in control of your thoughts and your thinking at the time. But certainly that happens, right? We get triggered by people and we become in a bad mood. Sometimes you ask a question to a coworker, and the coworker says, "I can't believe you asked me that question. That's putting me in a bad mood." Sometimes maybe that happens with a spouse. Sometimes maybe it's a teenage, son or daughter, and all of a sudden they're in a bad mood. You're in a bad mood. So, what are some ways that you can begin to get out of that bad mood? What are some practical and powerful steps that you can take? And these are not in any necessarily certain order, but there are some things that you can do, and you can begin to do today. If it's one of those things where you find yourself listening to this podcast and you think, "Oh, this is perfect," I'm in a bad mood. Maybe it's traffic in the morning. Maybe you're still having to do a commute, and so traffic is something that will, kind of set you off. Maybe it's something that your spouse has done, or maybe it's something that your spouse has not done. Maybe they didn't, take out the garbage, or they didn't do the dishes like you asked them to do. And all of a sudden, you have found yourself not in a great place. And so here's some strategies, here's some things for you to do if you find yourself in a bad mood. The first is acknowledge what you're feeling, right? Don't try to suppress it. Go ahead and acknowledge that and tell yourself the truth and say, "You know what? I am just not in a good mood." And I love to take that a step farther and say, "Okay, what is that feeling exactly?" Right? You know that something's not right. You know that something in your body has come up that's agitating you and aggravating you. But what is it really? Can you name it? Because I think if you can name the feeling, it's so much easier to begin to process, and it's so much easier to begin to identify where it actually has come from, or what has actually happened. There's a couple things out there from a lot of different, psychologists that will talk about, burying and suppressing feelings is hard, and so hard, right, that it often doesn't work. We've talked a lot about that on this podcast. When you try to bury something, when you try to put it down, when you try to, just kind of downplay it, it doesn't allow you to move through that, right? And so that's why we want you to be able to acknowledge it, bring it to the surface, notice what's coming up in your body, and be able to put it out there. Okay. And so I think that's the first thing to do, right? Where is it in your body? Right? Where does it come up? Is your stomach in knots? Does it come up the back of your neck? Is your heart beating fast? Eh? The act of being able to recognize what you feel can help it pass more quickly. There are study after study after study that say this. I don't know why we still in 2021 are trying to repress so many and so much of our emotional state. If we allow it to come, if we name it where it automatically reduces the pressure in the room. Like it just does. It just takes the pressure down when you just say, oh, okay, this is what this is, right? I am in a bad mood because I'm frustrated over this traffic. I can feel my heart rate, right? Then you can at least begin to move through that. So, number one is just acknowledging what you're feeling. Number two, ask yourself why. A lot of times bad moods don't just come out of nowhere. I mean, sometimes we just say, well, I'm just in a bad mood. But most of the time, if you will stop and think about why you're feeling the way you feel, you can actually help pinpoint what changes you might need to make, or what happened earlier that morning, or what happened 2 days ago, or for some of you, what happened 3 weeks ago, as to why you are still showing up and feeling like you're in a bad mood, right? Again, from a noted psychologist here, emotions can give us important information and we don't want to ignore them or push them away, right? You don't want to push them away. You want to embrace them. Embrace the why. Ask yourself a couple questions. How often do you feel angry? Is this something that is going on daily? Are you in a bad mood each day? How long does it last? If you've noticed that this is, you've figured out kind of a trigger for you, is this something that comes up and it tends to last for a while? Ask yourself this: what causes your anger? Okay? For years and years and years, I would get angry at things outside of me and outside of my control, and I never would acknowledge that it was actually me that had the problem with this, right? I was always blaming someone else. I was blaming my spouse, I was blaming a coworker, I was blaming my child, I was blaming a friend, I was blaming whoever, right? But really when I started to learn that the causes of my anger or because of how I'm looking at the situation and because of how I allow those trigger points to get to me, that's when real change started to begin with me. It's that, I know that now I can break that pattern of anger inside of me. And so I can begin to have power over it. But when you never ask yourself what causes this anger, when you never take the time to say, why am I so just, so frustrated inside? You're never able to actually move through that. You're never able to actually move beyond that. Think about somebody you might know. May not be you. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's somebody else. But think about someone who always seems to be in a bad mood. They always seem to be mad at the world. They always seem to be angry at something. Have they ever stopped to ask themselves why? What causes it? What's the root of it? Probably not. And that's for you what I want you to be able to do. I want you to be able to take that step and say, you know what? Enough is enough. Today, I'm going to start figuring out why this is in me, why this continues to come up in me, why this continues to bother me. For a lot of you, it's a deep seated, deep rooted belief. It's something that goes back to your childhood. It's something that goes back to how you were brought up. So you have this belief that when XYZ happens, you are supposed to get mad. When somebody cuts you off in traffic, you're supposed to get mad. There are other people out there that when somebody cuts them off in traffic, they're like, oh, that guy must be having a bad day. He cut me off in traffic. Or they're like, oh, no big deal. They cut me off in traffic. Everybody doesn't believe and doesn't think the same way you do. And so when you begin to understand that and you begin to understand that, wait a minute, this is just a belief that I have, right? This is just a belief that I have. I need to start working through this belief. I need to work through this with a therapist, or I need to work through this with a life coach. This is something that I need to get out in the open because it's a recurring pattern. It's a recurring theme in my life. But when you start to be honest with yourself and you say, yeah, this is the root cause, this is what causes my anger, then you can begin to move through these bad moods much quicker. Number three, if you notice that you're in a bad mood, you wake up in the morning, you're midway through the day, change your environment. And by that I mean get outside, Go take a walk. Go get out in nature. If you've got a lunch break, just do get out of your normal routine. Don't go have lunch in your normal spot. Get outside. If it's cold, go to a gym somewhere. Go actually exercise. Go get on, an elliptical. Do some push-ups, do some jumping jacks. Change your environment up, change your metabolism up in that moment, get your blood pumping, and that will help get some of that negative emotion out of you. Oftentimes, if you've noticed this, when you get worked up, if you will automatically go and go for a run, if you like to run, or go for a walk, or go for a bike ride, when you come back, right, you've got those endorphins going, you just feel better, right? It seems to put your mind back at ease. It seems to calm your body down. And so again, a practical way to fight this mood, to fight this agitation feeling, is to get out and get moving and start exercising. Hopefully most of you and most of our listeners are doing some sort of exercise each day. So if you've got a typical gym routine, maybe this is something where you need to take it a step farther and you need to just get out and take a walk. You just need to kind of, it's like blow some steam off, right? You need to go do that. So get out of your office, get out of your house. For so many of you now, right? You're working from home and you don't have this daily routine, or you don't have this daily commute that you have had, where you're going to an office, you're going to get your cup of coffee, you're doing your whole thing, you get out, you never get out of the house. So it's another great way to break up the monotony of being online all day, or being on Zoom all day, or whatever you're having to do. And then you start getting those negative feelings built up, you get that anger built up, you get all those emotions built up. You need to get out of the house. And so I would encourage you to do that. So number 3, exercise, get out of the house, change your environment. Number 4, and this kind of sounds funny probably to some people, but it's true in a lot of ways. Sometimes you just need to eat, right? You've seen that Snickers commercial. There's a lot of truth in that, right? When you're all are worked up and hungry, sometimes your body needs some fuel. Maybe it's because you're tired. Maybe you didn't get enough sleep the night before. Maybe you just haven't had enough to eat. Maybe you're not eating healthy. So I'm not advocating that you go get a Snickers, but go get some, grab some cashews, grab some nuts, do some almonds, get some avocado toast. I mean, whatever it is that float the boat. But get out, get some food, get a small piece of healthy chocolate, get some dark chocolate in you, healthy snack bar, something that will help you feel a little less hungry. Because if you're in a bad mood, oftentimes your body's just trying to tell you, hey, something's just not quite right. And maybe what's not quite right for you that day and in that moment is that, hey, you actually need something, right? Grab an apple, get some fruit. Do something that gets your body into another form, another state, and you ease some of those hunger pains, and that can help your bad mood. Number 5, we have talked about this, and I've got an episode coming up in a month or so, that's really going to be pretty special, on this topic. But it's try mindfulness, right? Try some mindfulness. You've seen all kinds of examples, right, where you can do meditation or you can do yoga, but certainly it does help. So if you've got a moment throughout the day where you're really feeling in a bad mood, Google an app, get on YouTube, find an app, a mindfulness app that you like. You can do it with words, without words. You can just do music. Take 10 minutes, take 15 minutes of your day, get in a room where it's quiet, go to a closet, go somewhere and shut your eyes. Again, notice your breaths, notice your breathing, and just get away for a little while, right? And get some good meditation in. Maybe you do have the ability to go and do yoga in the middle of the day, and you can go and sneak in a yoga class. Or maybe you're at home and you can pop on the TV and get to YouTube. There are so many great yoga opportunities right now. So, if you're new to mindfulness, if you've never done it before, start with a small goal. I mean, when you sit there and you think, well, I'm going to sit for, 15 minutes and be, in Zen, it's probably not going to happen, folks. It's hard to sit for 1 minute. When you're really trying to stay in the present moment and you're not trying to allow your mind to shift and to go all over. So start with a small goal of like 5 minutes. Get an app. It'll go on or get on YouTube for 5 minutes, find a 5-minute meditation they're all over the board there. And then just sit there and just say, all right, let's see if I can get into some intention and just start saying, I'm going to enjoy the rest of the day. I'm going to live in the present. I'm not going to allow other people to upset me. I'm not going to allow someone to, you know, get me worked up at work today. I'm not going to allow someone that interrupts my Zoom conversation to, destroy my day. All of the things that you can talk to yourself positively in that moment, stay there. And if you can completely clear your mind, that's what I would encourage you to do too, is just literally be able to sit in that moment for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then just notice how much calmer you are on the other side. Okay. So, number 5, try some mindfulness, try some meditation. Number 6, this is so interesting to me too when you think about this, because I've said this for some time now, and I was doing some research this week for the podcast, and this is one of the things that I noticed that came up. But it's to smile, just a smile. It's automatically it tricks the brain into thinking, hey, maybe something's going on here, right? Your brain's always telling you a story, and when you start smiling, your body's doing something a little different than your brain wants. Your brain's like, hey, what's going on there? And you're like, hey, I'm going to be happy today. I'm not going to be in this bad mood today. I'm going to change this body mind experience where my body's going to do it even though my brain says I shouldn't. It's pretty fascinating when you do. So it's not that you're trying to fake it, or you're not trying to, be something that you're not, but you're just trying to trick your brain a little bit. And your brain goes, oh, wait a minute, maybe you're not in such a bad mood. Maybe life's not so bad. And in that moment when you're smiling, I also love to try to be grateful, right? Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for your job. Be grateful for your spouse. Be grateful for your kids. Be grateful if you don't have any of those. Be grateful for the health that you have. Be grateful that you're able to, use technology in a way that can help your self improvement. You can listen to podcasts. You can listen to books. You've got access to things. So just be grateful. Be grateful for anything that you have in life that's really good for you, right? So number 6, smile, be grateful. Number 7, use some visual reminders. Okay, so you've probably been in houses where there's all of these right positive things on the walls, or you go into a bathroom and all of a sudden there's some positive stuff. You come to my office, I've always got a few positive notes or some things just as reminders. So that's something you can do as well. Have some sticky notes around that just says breathe, or you've got this, or you can do this, or go to the podcast episode where I talk about the I cans, right? Where you're talking to yourself with some positive affirmations, and you can do this. Life's not that bad. I am able to smile. I am able to breathe, right? All of those things that are really good for you, you start to put around your house and just have these little notes and be able to say, these are the triggers that I want. I know my brain is going to scan for the negative, so I have to tell it, no, we are going to think in a different way today. We're going to think more positive today. We're going to get ourselves out of this mood. We're going to get ourselves out of this funk. How are we going to do it? We're going to do it by these affirmations that we put around the house. Okay. So number 7, use some visual reminders. Number 8, maybe you need to call a friend. Maybe you just need to talk. Sometimes you don't need coaching. Sometimes you don't need therapy. You just need to talk. You just need to vent. You just need to get it out. There's an old kind of saying that goes, if some people just need to talk to a light pole, like you just need to get it out in the air so you can just say your piece, say whatever it is that's on your mind, and then automatically you start to feel better. It doesn't mean it has to be a gripe session, but maybe you just need some company from someone else. Maybe you just need to have a little moment where you say, you know what, this is what I'm going through right now. I don't really need advice. I just need to air it out. I just need to let you know. So you call a friend. And a lot of times, especially if you've got those good friends, you've got those 1, 2, 3 people that you can always call or you can text. Then after that, it kind of lightens your mood. Again, these are some strategies to help you get out of a bad mood. Number 9, this can sound easier said than done, but for a lot of clients that I work with, and especially as I work with them over time, this becomes more and more easy. And that is just to let it go. Just let it go. Whatever it is, you've already kind of identified, hey, this is the thing, this is the emotion. But you know what? I'm just going to let this go. I am going to let this go. And how am I going to do it? Maybe you need to write a note to somebody that says, you know what? I forgive you. Maybe you need to write a note to somebody that says, hey, just thinking about you today. I'm thinking about you, and I'm encouraging you, right? And your way of letting it go is to encourage someone else. Maybe you need to write a text. Maybe you need to just do some reflection inside and say, you know what, this is something that I've been harboring. I've been harboring this bitterness. I've been allowing this bitterness to stay within me. Maybe it's over a past employer, maybe it's over a past relationship. Maybe it's something that you feel like somebody has done something to you. Maybe they have done something to you, but you just need to let it go. You need to say, you know what, no more. No more is this going to rule over me. No more am I going to allow this to have this type of power and this kind of control in my life. I am going to simply let it go. And then number 10, for some of you, you really need to seek some help. This has been something that has gone on for a long time. Maybe you need some therapy. You need somebody that you can go talk to. Maybe you need coaching. Maybe it's something where you've found yourself that you're in a spot where you just don't know how to move forward. This is a recurring theme for you, right? And it's one of those things where it's that bitterness just comes up, or that anger comes up, or that frustration comes up, but you're noticing it more and more and more, and you just don't know where to go. That's when you need to reach out, right? That's when you need to contact me. You need to say, hey, Darren, I need some help. Let's figure out how we can navigate this together. And that's exactly what we do. We start with where you are, and then we start to figure out, hey, what's causing this? And then how can we put a plan together to help you become the version that you want to be of yourself, and to help you eliminate these bad moods that are going on, to help you eliminate this frustration, to help you eliminate this constant anger. Remember, this is not a process where you're looking for perfection. This is progression over perfection, right? We are just looking for progress. You're looking to become just a little bit better each day. You're looking to have a little more. You're looking to have a little more power over yourself each day. You're looking to be a little more in tune with all of those emotions that are going on. And then you're able to live the life that you've always wanted to live. And that's what this work's all about. And so 10, you need to reach out, seek help if needed. drdarrenwilson@gmail.com. So let's go back over them real quick. How to get out of a bad mood quickly. Acknowledge what you're feeling. Ask yourself why. What's the real reason behind the why, right? And sometimes I like to take that a step farther, right? Why? What really? Really, what is it? Don't allow yourself to lie to yourself, right? What's the why? So, again, number one, acknowledge what you're feeling. Ask yourself why. Exercise. Maybe you need to eat. Number 5 is mindfulness. Number 6, smile, be grateful. Number 7, have some visual reminders, write some things down. Number 8, call a friend. Number 9, just let it go. And then number 10, seek help if needed. Reach out to me this week if I can be of help to you in any way. drdarrenwilson.com. Go check out the new course, 90-Day Relationship Reset. Can't wait to see you back here next week. Take care, everyone.